Enjoying the exhibit? All right, playtime's over.
So Andrea, Michael Huber and I were fortunate enough to be at BlizzCon last year, and we saw Overwatch get announced live, and then we got to play it. And we were really, really, really in love with it. And they announced some new stuff for Overwatch at PAX East, and they also had it playable there, and you got a chance to check it out for the first time. What did you think of this game?
I think that I understand where all the hype is coming from. It played fantastic, it looks great, it has this really awesome, diverse cast of characters, and I was just sad and upset that I didn't get to play it longer. I just got like 2 rounds in, and then they were like, sorry, the line's long, come back later. Came back later, the line was still long, you know? So, I mean, I think a lot of people are just like, when are we getting our hands on this? And it definitely doesn't sound like it's coming in 2015. You know, the closed beta is supposed to be starting sometime later this fall, which is what, you know, I talked to the Blizzard staff about at PAX. But I was like, well, so that means that, you know, it's not going to be going public probably until maybe spring 2016. So the wait's not good.
Right. Blizzard is pretty notorious for long delays, so I feel like, in a way, getting a beta this fall is kind of better than most of their other announcements to getting it in people's hands. Like, it's actually not that bad, but yeah, still pretty long. Describe your couple of matches to me. Who did you play as? What did you like about those characters or dislike about them?
So as I mentioned, I didn't have a lot of time, so I had to kind of balance between trying to learn one character and trying multiple. So in my first match, I played exclusively as the Widowmaker. I don't generally do well in PvP with a sniper class, but what's really great about her character is that her weapon doubles as an assault rifle and a sniper, which I thought was good. And she also has these poison turrets that she can put out. And so it really allowed me to choose my playstyle between when I wanted to kind of rush in towards the objective or if I wanted to hang back and just snipe people. And I thought that she was a really fun character. Did you get to play with her at all?
No, so she was one of the characters that I didn't play as during my demo, but you kind of brought it up. A lot of people are comparing Overwatch to Team Fortress 2 and kind of brushing it off as, oh, it's another class-based shooter. And I feel like that's not really a fair comparison because like you just described with Widowmaker, I feel like each character can do quite a lot of things. Whereas in Team Fortress 2, you know, if you play the heavy, he kind of just has a minigun and that's his thing, or the sniper just snipes. Every single character I played in Overwatch felt like they had a lot more versatility to them and then were therefore more interesting to play.
I agree. I haven't spent like a lot of time with Team Fortress 2, but I think that comparing them on some levels makes sense, but saying that it's just another class-based shooter is definitely not accurate because all of these characters feel very unique in their own different way. And, you know, I kind of had a conversation with some other people that had played of this idea that if all of the characters are overpowered, nobody is. And that kind of feels like what Overwatch is about because all of these characters have such crazy abilities. One of the other characters that I played at was a tank character, Reinhardt. So this is like a kind of robot character. He's got this giant axe, and he has the ability to pull up a shield, which I was using defending our objective point quite a bit. But he also has like a rocket attack that he can send out, and he has like a charge attack that's really good for pushing back enemies. But he moves really slowly, right? So that's like the drawback. But I thought that he was really fun. I think that I could only be successful with him in certain situations. I don't generally play as a tank character when I'm playing these types of games. But one of the other characters that I had a little bit of a struggle with trying to play was Symmetra. She is a support class, and I think the reason why I was really struggling with her was like I just couldn't figure out how all of her abilities work together. But there was a girl who was on my team playing as Chirp, another support character who was just kicking ass. I could tell that she had been through that demo quite a few times. So I think I'm really looking forward to getting some more time to learn these characters, learn their abilities, and really find out, you know, what unique qualities they all have. Did a particular character stand out to you?
Yeah, so I talked about this before with Michael Huber. My character of choice when I played the demo was Tracer. I tend to gravitate towards agility characters at any game, whether it's a class-based shooter or a MOBA or whatever it is, and just being able to dash all around the map and go backwards in time and put sticky bombs on people really quickly was a lot of fun for me. I also just really like her personality and her humor. She's very funny and quick-witted, and that's something that I wanted to talk to you about. Is I feel like the design of each character is exceptional, where I can see people playing as somebody just because they kind of identify with them or they like them in some way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think that's why I'm almost always drawn immediately to female characters, and there's so many to choose from in Overwatch, which is really cool. I kind of had to force myself to try some of the non-female characters. I also tried Tracer's. I thought she was really fun. And they all have like these really crazy personalities. I played for part of my round as Winston, the giant like science ape with the electric gun.
Yep.
And he was really fun. Just the way that he was moving around the map was different, right? Because he's like a gorilla, right? He's like he's running on all 4 feet instead of on his 2 legs, which made for a really unique traversal experience. And I think that the more that we get to see these characters, the more that we'll be able to kind of find someone that's similar to us personality-wise that we can identify with.
Definitely. And kind of extending off of that, unfortunately, neither one of us got to play these characters, but at PAX East they announced McCree, who is kind of this cowboy-esque figure with a revolver that he can fire in semi-automatic shots or in full 6-round bursts. And there's also Zarya, who functions like a tank. She has a beam gun that has an alternate fire with grenades. She can also shield herself or allies. But what I think is really interesting about Zarya is Jeff Kaplan, the game director, came out and said, hey, you guys have said that diversity is really important to you, and Zarya is a step in that direction. And I feel like normally when you think of the word tank in video games, it's almost always a big burly dude. So to see them kind of flip the script on that is cool, and it makes you realize that it's something we don't see very often.
That's true. I think Blizzard has always been really fantastic about taking fan feedback and interacting with their community. We can see that from all of their previous games, and they don't put out games that they're not 100% proud of. Obviously,
right.
Their Project Titan got. They decided to cancel it after how many years of development because they just weren't happy with it. And I think that really shows in the games that they put out that they want to make sure that they're listening to their fans and listening to the community about what they want. And I wish we had more developers like that. That being said, I think that this was already a pretty diverse cast of characters, but hey, I'm not one to stand in the way of more diversification in a cast. So if they want to go even farther, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Well, Overwatch was one of the most impressive games that I've ever demoed when I played it, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Thank you so much for talking to me about it, and hopefully we'll see more Overwatch very soon.